Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is July 18th, 2010. Tonight is going to be a rather interesting edition of Outside the Box. Welcome to edition 260 of Outside the Box. I'm your host, Alex Hansby, with you for the next hour. Strange lights above China. Man-made craft, extraterrestrial, or hologram? You be the judge. Tonight, in the second half of the program, I'm going to be showing you a lot of videos some of you have never seen in your life, but you'll see them here tonight. Anyone with access to the World Wide Web, to youtube.com, while the web still exists as we know it today, the free flow of information, you can see what millions of other people are chatting about, talking about, debating about this very moment. We've got earthquakes, we've got threats of war, more wars, economic collapse. There's also some concerns about an uprising in H1N1, or the scare of it. We're already calling for mass vaccinations, again, coming up this winter. So we have all these other things that we're used to talking about yet up in the air. There's a lot of things going on, not just UFOs, but increased solar activity, and of course, some other very interesting pieces of information that NASA has come across pertaining to our magnetic field. We'll get to that later on in the broadcast. So we'll start tonight, the first half of the show, going over a number of pieces of information. This is our very first piece of information, our first headline of the evening, also very large in its own right. Mystery trader buys all of Europe's cocoa. So you're not just seeing the consolidation of big business, of the big banks, of so many things, of government. We're also seeing one man literally buy all of Europe's cocoa. The report reads from the London Guardian, even Willy Wonka might struggle to use this much chocolate. Yesterday, somebody bought 241,000 tons, not pounds, but tons of cocoa beans. The purchase was enough to move the entire global cocoa market, setting the price to the highest level since 1997, 77 rather, and triggering rumors and intrigue in the city. It is unclear which person or group of traders was behind the deal, but it was the largest single cocoa trade for 14 years. The cocoa beans, which are sitting in warehouses, either in the Netherlands, Hamburg, or closer to home in London, Liverpool, or Humberside, is equivalent to the entire supply of the commodity in Europe and would fill more than 5 Titanics. That's worth about 658 million euro. Analysts said it was very unlikely that chocolate companies such as Nestle or Kraft, or even their suppliers, would buy such a huge order in one go, and that it was probable that one or a number of speculators, possibly hedge funds, had attempted to corner the market. By doing this, they would have control of the entire supply in Europe, forcing the price even higher. Eugene Weinberg, an analyst at Commerzbank, said if it looks like cornering, feels like cornering, and the price difference between Europe and the U.S. is so large, it's probably cornering. He also said, and I quote, "There's some play taking place. No one really knows what is going on." At the same time, demand is on the increase, especially in China. A lot to say about things, strange things going on in China, both in terms of UFOs and military buildup in the Korean Peninsula. China and India develop an even greater sweeter tooth. Cocoa prices have more than doubled since 2007, forcing chocolate makers to raise prices and in some cases to change recipes to use less cocoa, more additives, more poisons, more toxins. But by the way, you do need to know that it's good to stock up on things like organic cocoa if you can't get a good price on it. A lot of people, when they eat chocolate, they're not eating the good chocolate. They're eating, well, take a look at Hershey, for example. There's lead in the soil. There was cocoa beans, or those cocoa beans actually growing. We also see less crop yields as well around the planet, also potentially causing speculators to bet on the price going up. So this is one major development that we are looking at. Here's another one. The jobless effect. Is the real unemployment rate 16.5%, 22%? What is the real unemployment rate? A recent survey from May revealed that 28,000 of the 1,000-odd households surveyed reported that at least one member was looking for a full-time job, surprising the researchers. Our numbers are always very accurate, according to the person that owns the firm, saying, quote, "I was so surprised at the discrepancy with the government's numbers." After all, the headline number shows the U.S. unemployment rate today at 9.5%, with a total of only 14.6 million jobless people. A major source of undercounting is the unemployed who've given up looking for jobs. Now, on the point of people losing jobs. When that happens, people go into greater levels of debt and they lose their property to the big banks. And of course, the insurance companies make a killing, so do the tow yards when they tow people's vehicles when they can't pay the insurance. So in many ways, property is confiscated from those that don't pay tribute to insurance companies, to the city, to the state. This is my vehicle. My vehicle is now in the possession of the Portland police. I also have encountered another major problem in my life with transportation, losing my future business vehicle. There's a shop I'm going to be opening up soon as I find the right place. Nothing I said about how the police were actually hindering my ability to help people by taking away my business vehicle, the vehicle that I used to get to the show. It is just business, and it is not personal. We all need to know how to become strong, spiritually strong, physically strong, mentally strong, emotionally strong, when we go through challenges that test us. And there's no doubt that I'm being tested. 15 minutes after losing my vehicle, I went over to a place where I intended to rent for $1,000 a month, Portland's first outside-the-box preparedness center, one of the best preparedness centers that I think some of you will ever have come across, because I'm going to have a variety of things there and a number of skill-sharing nights there, even classes on identifying edible plants. So it's going to be a different type of outdoor store without the militia, army surplus type of feel that you get from Andy and Bex. And so this is something that I'm going through, but even still, with the few resources that I have, our real wealth, our real talents, those are the things that we need to focus on. And our real wealth, it's not how much money we have. It's how much we love humanity, how well connected we are to our fellow man, or our desire to achieve our dreams, understand for ourselves what the meaning of life is. That is something that is valuable and something that we all have to hold on to. So after paying $400, every penny that I have, to the Portland police, they have a $150 fee that they charge to release the vehicle, the insurance. I still need to get the car out of tow. So that is one thing I'm mentioning on the show that is important to me over the course of the next 24 hours. Hopefully, the means will come about for me to accumulate the $150 needed to get the car out of tow. So many of things are happening: jobless rates, people losing their vehicles, tent cities popping up, and somebody buying up all the cocoa, and this global currency that's coming about. Let's talk about the dollar. The Federal Reserve's policies is sending the dollar tumbling to new lows. The euro rocketed to a two-year month high of $1.29, and sterling jumped 2 cents to almost 1.4 after the Fed confessed that the economy may not recover for 5 or 6 years. Far from winding down emergency stimulus, the bank may need a fresh blast of bond purchases or quantitative easing. Usually the dollar serves as a safe haven whenever the world takes fright, and there was plenty of sobering news from China and other quarters on Thursday. Not this time. The U.S. itself has become the problem. The worm is turning, said David Bloom, currency chief at HSBC. We are in a world of rotating sovereign crises. The market seems to be obsessed with one idea at a time, then violently swings towards another. People thought the euro would break up. Now we're moving into a new phase because we're hearing alarm bells of a U.S. double dip. And so a lot of people are going to have less purchasing power as the dollar goes down and down and down. That means greater costs for the food that you get, the products, services, even utilities. And so the tow yards are continuing to get larger and larger and larger. And sometimes when they don't take your car, when you don't have insurance, because the tow lot's already full. The day that they actually happened to find me, the tow lot was not full, and they had plenty of room to put this vehicle. And so we're all connecting the dots here. The more we can separate ourselves from our attachments to material things and losing things that might be taken from us, from the robbers and the looters there in the world, some of them in uniform, some of them work for our own city. We have to remain strong and keep moving forward and realize our dreams any way, shape, or possible. And you can do this without money, and I am an example of that. And the reason I talk about these things and trials and tribulations on the show is to inspire some of you that are in better positions financially to say, hey, this guy has nothing and he's actually doing something, using his voice as a weapon of choice. And some of you have your basic means together, but you still have some sort of a fear about actually stepping outside the box and doing something for your community, or standing up and doing what's right and getting prepared, or investigating a little bit more about what's going on and maybe passing information on to others, printing out some of these articles that I talk about and spreading